Okay, guys, I don't want to waste your time. I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm going to look at the 8th anniversary EZA details, but that's not the intention of this video. What I really want to do is I want to look at some other tweets that I have bookmarked. I've already seen their details, so it's just going to be just me going over it, giving my thoughts very, very quickly. And then the main meat of this video, what I want it to be, is me looking at the community reactions to the 8th anniversary EZA details underneath this tweet, underneath some other tweets I have bookmarked, and so I'll hop right into it. Just starting. Unfortunately, I think a big negative in recent times with EZAs is that they after the 170 meta, they stopped making EZA leader skills the same as Dokkan Fest and Carnival LRs. So the leader skill really doesn't matter much anymore. Oh my goodness, I need to pull this out. Let's pull it out. Okay. So attacking defense 300% start a turn, guards all attacks, similar to Daima, or not Daima, or I guess, yeah, Daima Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. Daima Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta also gets 300% start a turn. They get 100% when HP is 50% or more, so they'll be at the same as Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku, who gets 400% start a turn. One key per key sphere obtained. I'm glad it's not just type key sphere obtained. That can definitely be a big negative. Damage reduction rate 50%. Okay. High chance of evading enemies' attack temporarily when receiving attack. Once only on this damage reduction. I've saw some people complaining about this, but I don't think it'd be that big of a negative as a stacking unit, because as you can see on the right side, they massively raise on both. So by the time you basically use this up and move on second and third attack on a turn, 2 key per key sphere obtain, and then one time only 60% damage reduction. By the time you use both of these up, I'd have to imagine this unit is going to be in a crazy spot, so I don't think it'll really be that big of a negative. The only real negative I could see it being is if there's like a boss like Bio Broly that stuns them, but even then they have a 50% chance to dodge it from that. When receiving an attack, 50% defense permanently. That's very good. Obviously, just multiplicative defense when attacking with 12 or more key, 150% attack. That will definitely bump this unit up and make them be doing some good damage. Additional super attack, another additional super attack, one time only additional super attack. For every super attack performed, 2 key, 20% chance to crit, up to 100%. Okay, speed running through it. I think the biggest issue with this character is going to be key turn 1. I think it's going to be dependent on what team you're running and if you can get this unit their key turn 1, because as you can tell, looking at their passive, they get 0 key start of turn 1. They get the 1 key per key sphere in slot 1 and 2 key per key sphere in slot 2. That they really have the same key turn 1 that they did on release. But I think something that we also should talk about is, let's just say you do the 18 key. Or let's just say you get 20 key. You get 20 key, and this character does their 18 key. They do the additional super attack from 18 or more key, and then they do an additional normal. That additional normal would proc this when attacking with 24 key, and then you would get 2 more additional supers. So that is something to think about when building this character for additionals, is that if you get even the additional normal can give you an absurd amount of value turn 1. Let's go to the next one. It's just mastery raise defense for 1 turn, raise attack for 1 turn. Or not mastery raise defense for 1 turn, mastery raise defense permanently, absurdly broken. I really want to see how high their defense gets just like turn 3 after doing 5 super attacks. Mastery defense 1 turn, greatly raise attack for 1 turn. Yeah. I think looking at it, okay, let's just go here. I think I would have, I really enjoy the way they designed this character prior to standby and after standby on release. I just think I wish they would have had a little bit more defensive mechanics on release like they do now, you know, having the guard start of turn. Guarding start of turn. Okay. Unable to defense plus 500% for 4 turns from the character's entry. Yeah, just very, this character, basically the way you want to use them is, okay, now I'm invincible, and now I'm going to be rainbow orb changing, and like it's just like I do no damage, but I'm going to, you know, build up and do crazy stuff instead, you know. I think something to think about is this unit should, I think, hit or should be doing things like this unit should be indestructible a lot of the time, and I really hope they are, because compare them to the GT unit on release, like, you have to go turns with doing 0 damage, and so it's like, however much damage you don't do because you were transformed into this state that's unable to attack, is they need to do that much extra on top of, you know, whatever the GT unit would do as a bomb. So I really do hope this unit hits crazy hard. But you also can't understate how powerful just being invincible is as a unit. 7 or more key spheres. The guaranteed crit, this is very impactful. I think, honestly, there's 0 reason to have crit in this unit. Every single point of crit you have in this unit is basically worthless now, in my opinion. I think it's really worthless. I think 3 crit builds and you just go, in my opinion, you go full dodge, because any like time you want to put this unit in slot 1, you're just banking, like, against Bio Broly or any fight that might stun, it could drastically hurt them and just kill their performance if they get stunned right away. So you really want to go for the dodge, I think. But obviously I explained why the additionals in certain situations. If you get the additional super, it's an additional super still, and it's still, you know, building up. It's still all this, you know, master race defense. If you get the additional normal in certain situations, it can still be very good. So I think additionals and dodge are definitely the play. Obviously they increase the attack here from 500%. I think we just have to see. Like, even calcs won't tell you exactly how crazy this is, but it's obviously gonna be crazy. Skipping over, hopefully we can freaking blitz GT duo so we can get to reactions. Looking at it, let's pull them up and replace you. Same start of turn, same above, 30% damage reduction in slot 1 for once and crit, and then 40% damage reduction in slot 2 and crit, high chance of damage reduction rate 30%. I don't like this ability. It's fine though. I think it's something you should think of as extra rather than something you should think of as just always like a consistent ability. Besides that, the exact same passive all the way down until you get reach here where they do the damage reduction and chance for a critical hit right here. Okay. And then I think this is the biggest difference in these characters is in the super attack effects. Pull you up. And pull you up. Okay, greatly raise attack for 1 turn, greatly raise defense for 1 turn, colossal damage to the enemy, 12 key super, not greatly raise attack for, I keep saying 1 turn. It's just stack attack greatly, and then greatly raise defense for 1 turn. I don't know why they gave this unit greatly raise defense for 1 turn, but they couldn't give the Boo Duo unit greatly raise attack for 1 turn. That's kind of odd to me, but I guess they did give them the master raise defense. And then on their 18 key raise attack by 70%, greatly raise defense for 4 turns. I think they could have given the Boo Duo greatly raise attack for 4 turns, and it would have been fine. I don't know why they did that, but obviously they nerfed this attack a bit because they didn't want this unit to be too crazy. Continuing up. Looking at them, that's the full one. Looking at them post standby. Let's get their super attack effects, which they have to put on 50 different slides for some reason. Because they need a slide individually for the name as well, okay. 300% attack, all allies key plus 11, attack plus 100, but 10% is going to be good for juicing. People are going to love juicing units with this as they did on release, similar to the Super Gogeta active, similar to the Bulma active, just a big juice. Attacks effective against all types, launches additional super attack. When HP is 50% or more, defense was 150%. When the character and ally attacking in the same turn is KO'd, revives the HP fully recovered when attacking. When the finisher's effect is activated, they get these buffs. Okay. When something to note is, I think none of this really matters. I don't think they should be getting this defense right here. It doesn't. I don't see the value, I guess, in my opinion. But in modern content, they should still just be getting slammed and destroyed so that you can revive anyway. But their super attack effects. I saw people confused. I saw the truth confused why they got this greatly raised defense for 4 turns on 12 key, and this also greatly raised defense for 4 turns on 18 key, saying that it didn't, like, I agree, this right here makes 0 sense. When HP is 50% or more, you want this character to die. I guess sometimes you may, okay, maybe they survive, you know, a big time attack and then they get to attack and you get extra attack. but for the most part, you just want this character to die, so I don't see the purpose in this. I think you have to think for a second. You have to stop and think. You know, unfortunately for me, I'm not 30 years old, so I have like a pretty good brain, so I can think. Obviously, this is because before transformation on 18 key, they greatly raise defense for 4 turns. And if you stand by, let's just say you stand by turn 3 with them, you're below 50% HP. You stand by turn 3, they get to attack, and they do like, you know, they're doing obviously 18 key additional super attack. If you get to attack, and then you go into and then you die, and then you go back to the GT Duo just pre-standby form. If that happens and you get to attack, this will still be active when you go back. And so it's basically just keeping, like, you will be a bit better in a defensive spot when you leave this character in the normal unit, which I think was a bad issue for both units. It's why I really wish they had something like this for the Boo Duo, where if you stand by really early and you had to use the Spear Bomb before the final phase, they were kind of a fish because they weren't built up. And so I think hopefully those one-time only buffs circumvent that in a way. And also, I think, yeah, just thinking about it, I didn't even think about that before. That's what the one-time only buffs also help with, is that you may, I mean, obviously you could have just had it permanently and people would not have complained, but the one-time only buffs, they will activate it. Let's just say you stand by right away and then you leave the standby, and then it's like, okay, well, now I'm deep in the fight and I didn't finish them with the bomb, and so, you know, now I just have this fish on rotation. Like, no, they'll have, you know, this unit, this is to help them, you know, okay, now I'm not a complete fish anymore, you know what I mean? And this is like, also, I'm not a complete fish anymore, you know, just to help them. And I think that's also the case for the Boo Duo in their standby when they changed the full field of key spheres to physical and rainbow, is that you don't necessarily have to use this to juice the bomb. Let's just say if you know it's already going to kill and you're not on the let's say you're not on the final phase and you know it's already going to kill, you don't have to use this to juice that, or I guess not in the final phase, but you know that with or without this you're not going to kill, right? You could just use these key spheres to just give the unit some key when you get out of this and drop the bomb. So you're like on the final phase, you know the bomb's not going to kill. You can drop it. Then instead of, like, you know, using this to try to juice it a bit more and juice out a little more damage, you could help the Boo Duo unit outside of their standby. Okay, that's done. Now that we've gone over the units very, very quickly, very, very hype, people care a lot about them. Let's look at some of the community reactions. I'm going to start with this one. So, lol, how are you supposed to lose with the 8th anniversary LRs exactly? There's this guy, but they can still make it work. How does this guy kill him? Is the Cell Max fight, does it hit hard enough with the crit to kill them? I don't understand. Like, it's an AoE super, but they still have a bit, like, their first turns, they still have guard, they still have damage reduction, and then they build up, and then, you know, they have more defense, and, you know, the GT Duo unit will have more damage reduction. It's like, I don't get this. Well, maybe I just haven't, I guess this is where calcs could be useful. It's like, do they just, like, rainbowed 8th anniversary LRs, turn 1, you put them in slot 2, they have their full abilities up, do they just get slammed by this guy? I doubt it. I'm not gonna lie, I doubt it, but if that is the case, then yeah, this could be definitely a negative. I will find a way, don't worry. Thank you, Mega Nice. That's good to hear. Trust me, this joke is, it's so unoriginal. Like, everybody's making this joke, man. Come on. The Boo Duo is slightly overpowered. Between the two, I thought the GT Duo was going to be the crazy one, but I guess it's more dependent on if we get, like, a content that, like, around turn 5, like, I guess think about, like, the Tamagami fight. The Tamagami fight, like, around turn, like, 5, it becomes, like, impossible to keep up. But the fight dies. If we get, like, a Tamagami fight that hanged in there till, like, turn 8, and, like, by, like, turn 5, it was just, for most units in the game, they were just, getting slammed like the way it is in the Tamagami 2 fight, I could definitely see the Boo duo just being like the best unit in the game outright. But if we get like fights similar to what we've gotten so far, I'm almost tempted to say like the GT duo look like in base they may have more offensive power, and so that might like right now I think blitzing these fights before they get the chance to just become unlivable, have their unlivable situations, and once you like things like Bio Broly where he just gets so strong and he's just so powerful that you're just waiting to be caught basically. I think blitzing them before that, I think if I'm not crazy, I think the GT duo unit is going to be better at that, and I think that's going to make them just a better unit. Yeah, even without long content for their stacks to go crazy, their standbys themselves are just so powerful now. You even need to stack for them to still be insanely effective in current content. Yeah, I agree. Very few. The thing about these units is people don't understand. With very few stacks, turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, they're like that's when you're like. Turn 5 is like when you're ending. Turn 5, turn 6 is when you're ending fights right now. I definitely agree with this reaction that with very few stacks, they kind of, even without the long content, they'll still be crazy. Spends 5 stones just to correct the build on these beasts. Let's criticize the builds. Man, you just can't fucking zoom in. I love Twitter, man. 17 additional, 9 dodge, 0 crit. Yeah, I guess I can respect it. Full. Oh, I didn't. Dude, I just gotta pull it up in a separate tab. Level 8, level 3, level 3. You can do better, man. You gotta hop in the Whis event, but yeah, raw defense equips I think could be very useful on them. Oh, okay. You're doing a lot of attack. I need to see the calcs on this. Like, what are the calcs on this? Like, is this really like the best like you can do? Like, how much damage does this give to this unit? Like, does it matter a lot with like the stacks and like once they have a bunch of stacks? Like, I need to see the calcs on like the defense equips too, these attack equips with all their attack stacks. Like, I really need to see that. Like, I think that's gonna be important when I choose my equips. Easy, the red zone of this guy. Oh, they mean like. Are people talking about like an eventual red zone that this guy's gonna get because of the new Resident Evil red zones people are calling them? I guess if he got like a crazy new stage that was AoEing right away, like yeah, I would be definitely able to do it. I would not be changing the build. Unfortunately for you, I think this crit is just worthless. Like this crit is worthless. Like you're gonna be having a lot like this. I mean, yeah, this guy. You're gonna be having 100% chance to crit here. The bomb's gonna be critting 100% of the time if you're playing it right. Like it's really not I do not care. I like having their ult lords more than their build to be perfect. Is 1 stone. To me, having new units is much more important than changing the build on old units, especially if I don't have the GT duo to lead my shiny new friends. I mean, it's 1 stone, man. Like, you'll be fine, I promise you. There's no way you haven't pulled a copy of this unit. If you summon on the new banners, you'll pull one sometime and hopefully change the builds. The 7th and 6th were way better. Guys literally turn 1 tank Cellmax AoEs who were better than GT Goku and Vegeta. A 1-year-old, same level, EZA. 27 replies. Oh my god, okay. Okay. Not the nicest response right away. Not at all. Considering the GT2 has so much damage reduction and the Voodoo will just stack and stack and stack. Defense, they literally take 0 damage. It's way better than the 7 years right now. Man, you guys are literally using Serum for applying what? Bro, okay. I'm gonna just reply to this. Lots of mean people in the replies. Hopefully, you realize here that in one specific fight where the what's a good way to say it? Where you pretty much how do I explain this? Hopefully you realize that here, though, that in one specific fight, in one situation, tanking better does not make them you say true things that mean very little. Overall, the 8th ANNI LRs are on the same level, are level as 7th on release on EZA. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like that's the good way to think about it. That one specific situation where they tank better but both units still live does not make it so that they're just like, oh, they're the 7th, they're way better on release. It's like, I think them being better 90% of the time. Ooh, best anniversary of all time. That's one of the takes of all time. Yeah, let's chill on that. This is that's good. Let's actually like chill 5. Okay. If the enemy has low HP and they only super once, you waste that damage reduction ability, but stack very little difference, and then you have a unit with guard and nothing else in the Z duo case. I don't think they reach physical. Okay. This is truly crazy. Crazy, man. You gotta lock in. No fight exists now. No difficult fight exists now where this could ever happen. And also, if there were multi-phase fights where it could, you get 2 separate damage reduction turns. Slot 1, then the other slots. So it's kinda a skill issue if it does. Let's stop looking at let's look at Vector's tweet. I put right now I put the 8th ANNIs and Demigod. Let's look at this list overall. Just stop including TURs, man. Like you're just doing too much. You're just like this is Vector just doing too much. Like it's just you're doing too much, man. This is why he's top Twitter baiter. This is the #1 Twitter baiter. Like this is doing too much. Like why are we including TURs, man? Just stop. It's just it doesn't make sense. But yeah, I would like I'm not gonna disagree. I'm not gonna agree. I'm sure they could be, best units in the game and we don't realize it. They could be, I think their floor is about like beneath these units. But we'll just have to see. Like we can't accurately judge the characters until the content, basically the content that's gonna matter until we get a new difficult content drop for Golden Week. Oh, wrong press. But for Golden Week or Sunday or GDC happens. I think you're underrating the fuck out of them. No complaints if that's the case. W mentality. Boo duo over Goma for me. Maybe you're smoking dick. I don't know. We'll just have to see. But I think Goma is just probably going to be better. Goma's just way too fucking good, man. I think Z duo is in the Kai Goku tier. GT duo, it's in the Gatekeepers. GT, it's in the Gatekeepers. Is in the Gatekeepers. GT... What? GT... Okay. We're saying that there's a massive gap between them on release. I mean, I don't know. There are definitely some interesting design quirks, but I think I just have to say that maybe maybe that is the case because you need to receive 4 attacks versus do 4 attacks with these units. But I don't see them being that, like, there being that big of a gap between them. But I guess, in my opinion, all of these units, by the way, Goma's too low here. Goma's above this guy. I think Goma, like, I think, like, just, like, looking at all these units, you kind of have to, how do I describe it? You kind of have to realize that people have definitely a bit of recency bias with drops. Like, I think it is pretty fair to say that the 7th anniversary LR EZAs are, like, underrated because I think they're like, just individually, like, they're better than this guy, I feel like. But I feel like just they don't carry teams, but, like, they're not, like, ever really, they are basically, like, if you're running just one of them on the team, they're basically never frauds. And, like, that's just, like, this guy can definitely be a fraud. And I think there's fraud situations with this guy, but they don't carry offensively, and so I think people don't look at it like, oh, look at Gogeta blow this team away. And it's like, but still, I think it's important that he can do that. But I still think, like, if you look at, like, he has them next to each other, which I think is pretty valid. But I think these guys and their much more consistent performance and, you know, lack of restrictions and stuff is, like, very important. But it's like the Boo duo. Like, I mean, if we look at these characters here, like, it's like the Boo duo and the GT duo. If, in my opinion, I would have to say that, like, their top 5. Top 3, I think one of them, we're just gonna have to see which one of them, because I think saying there's a gap in performance could be true, but I just don't know which way it's gonna go. I think one of them is gonna be definitely better than the other, but it's hard to tell. I think that's the final take. Like, it's definitely gonna be a little hard to tell. Definitely let me know what you guys think. If you guys are very hyped, if you guys are logging in. I kind of don't have Dokkan installed right now. I'm going to install it on my tablet instead of my phone because that game is getting massive and it just takes up too much storage. So definitely let me know what you guys think. I may not be there to grind it day one and give my honest opinions, but I hope you guys hopefully share yours.